AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Y'all know what this is.
Knicks Rehab.
Rehab, y'all.
The New York Knicks are expected to request permission to interview Jason Kidd, as per the Stein line. That's Mark Stein, who used to be on ESPN. Yo, he must be getting mad bread because he left ESPN and he got even more fat. You don't get like that without stacking, respectfully. I'm overweight myself, Mark Stein. But here's the bottom line. You getting money reporting news like this still. The New York Knicks are expected to formally request permission to speak to the Dallas Mavericks' Jason Kidd about their coaching vacancy in the coming days. League sources say. The bochinche is hot, Flea. Hot off the presses. Jesus Christ. And you know also the Mavericks are reporting, or there is a report saying that the Mavericks are going to let Jason Kidd decide if he wants to interview for the Knicks open coaching position.
Oh, that was reported as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that.
As per Scoop. I think that's when we used to work for Slam magazine.
Scoop Jackson.
Probably Scoop Jackson, who I've never really cared for. He just sounds crazy.
Fabian don't like anybody, y'all. Let me just remind y'all really quick. Fabian doesn't like a soul except myself and AllBall. Just telling y'all. He don't like none of these niggas.
I don't like anybody. Yeah. Because even Zach Lowe starting to piss me off because he doesn't watch the Knicks games like that. Man.
Fabian don't like nobody.
Well, because they're saying stuff, and I'm sitting there like, yo, there's no way you were watching this game. We'll argue about whether Jalen Brunson should be hogging the ball, and I'm like, yo, he's the only one that showed up. I don't care. He should be passing the ball. They don't know that. They talking about like, yo, the rotations. You just saw that this game. But I digress. Let's be honest, man. You've been calling for it. Yo, all right. They fired my man. Okay, y'all got it. They fired my man.
Stop calling that nigga my man. I'm gonna start shooting at y'all niggas. That's not my man.
Flea, that's your man. You can't even hide that now. I'm trying to duck the whole you a Kyrie hater every time. No, you all hater. What did I say to hate on him? That's your man. You can't run from that. If we were in person, you might have put your hands on me over Tom Thibodeau. That's what it was looking like.
No. And I probably went a little too hard because I'm starting to, like, I read the comments and I go and read the comments and people, like, there's this real misconception that I cried tears because we fired Tibbs. Like, you fucking kidding me? Y'all know it. The people that know me, and they clearly don't fucking know me. If you think I cried tears over fucking Tibbs, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, the fuck out of here. Like, a nigga said, I read the comment, a nigga said they stopped listening when I start talking about Tibbs. They listen to AllBall and Fabian, and they stop listening when I start talking about Tibbs. So there's like this wild ass misconception that I love this nigga. I don't love this nigga. I just love what happened while he was here. That's it. So we move it on.
In the effort to move on, I will refer to him as the coach, the former coach, Tom Thibodeau. The fact that they released him and now they're talking about Jason Kidd as the first name that's out there. You were asking for a plan, Flea. How do we look? I mean, it sounds like they're going after him first to at least create a market. How do we like the name Jason Kidd as the next New York Knicks head coach?
Love the name. I remember the effect that he had on us coming into 2013. That 2013 season, we had a pretty good season the year before, made some noise in the playoffs the first couple rounds, beat Boston one year, then saw Miami one year, lost, and then came back, had to see Boston, and we beat Boston, found ourselves in the second round. But the locker room, the energy, everything changed once Jason Kidd came in. Was he older? For sure. He couldn't hit a shot? Absolutely not. Couldn't hit a shot to save his life. But the leadership and just everything he brought to us as a player that year catapulted us to who we were, 54-win team, second seed in the playoffs. Like, he was a big part of why we, was able to elevate. And so if we're going to be able to poach him away from Dallas, then I say we give it a go. I was taking a look at it last night, and when Jason Kidd has a healthy Dallas Mavericks roster, he is in the Western Conference Finals. at the least. He's had 4 years with Dallas. His 2 successful years, he was in the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. When they weren't healthy, they tanked 1 year, and that other year he just wasn't healthy. They had to have a healthy team. So, 4 seasons with Jason Kidd in Dallas, and 2 of them are extremely, extremely deep playoff runs. So if that's the guy we targeting, we got to be relentless. We got to be relentless with it. I'm not a like I said, you could count on probably 1 or 2 hands how many times a coach has been traded from one team to the next. So this stuff doesn't happen all willy-nilly like players get traded. But if it is something that is seriously an option, you got to go for it. You got to go for it.
Oh, boy, what do you think when you heard the name Jason Kidd as the Knicks are going to interview for him, and it's looking like they want to go after him as the next head coach to replace Tom Thibodeau?
I love it. I love it. He's in my top 5 greatest point guards of all time. We have to understand, his basketball IQ. Yeah, exactly. His basketball IQ is off the charts. And think about it. We have a point guard.
I love OG, man.
Why come you ain't on it? Oh,
I'm here. I ain't going to.
nah, it dropped off.
Okay.
Y'all know how I feel about Jason Kidd, man. I think I started watching Jason Kidd because who my second favorite player ever at the time.
You was a Dallas Mavericks fan on the low.
My apologies, y'all. It's my apologies. Like a little emergency. My apologies.
I like Barkley first, and then I see Jim Jackson. I saw he looked like my pop, so I was like, "Who's this?" Go ahead,
But,
Jason Kidd, one of the best point guards of all
time. I think
like your dad.
He can help Brunson out tremendously. But my opinion, and this is what I wanted to say earlier. I think all along this was the plan, Flea. That plan that Flea was talking about, Tory B, the beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant. I'm just seeing you. Good evening, Tory B. What up, baby? Flea, I think this was the plan all along. I think this was the plan. I think Jason Kidd is the guy. There is rumors now that saying that, you got to get, Dallas, and you got to, it's a respect thing. And I'm hearing that Dallas is now allowing J Kidd to talk. Also, word is, some people got let go that J Kidd is not feeling from the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if it's the bench, the coaching staff, or just the organization. But I love
the trainer. For 2 seconds, OG. The trainer's with us now. The trainer's with us now. We won some award as being the best training staff in the league.
Right.
They say we were the most healthy. This Knicks team was the most healthy team in the NBA all season. I don't know how they tracked that, but that's what was said. And that guy was over in Dallas before he came over here. So keep rolling.
Right. So I think this is a great hire. And I think this is the coach that we need. Like I said, I think he can help Jalen Brunson out tremendously. The way Jason Kidd sees the court, the way he can run an offense, like I said, and I know for a fact he's going to have a star-studded, a great coaching staff. I think this is what we need, and I think this is where we need to go all in. And I think this was the plan all along. If Tom Thibodeau got to the finals, it would have been difficult to fire him. But I think all this time, I think we were talking to Jason Kidd. Because what's going on in Dallas, I don't think Jason Kidd is happy with it. The way Luka got traded, just how things is going. And now you see an opportunity to coach the legendary New York Knicks. You have an opportunity to be in the garden on that sideline. Like I tell people, they laugh at me, but this job is very sexy. I don't care what nobody says. And you will turn into a legend immediately. Of course, he's already a legend. But now I'm talking coaching. And Flea, you're correct. When he has a healthy team, They are in the conference finals and in the finals. So for me, I love Jason Kidd as the head coach. I think we said it the other day. Between him, Spo, Kerr, which we didn't all agree on those, but for me, those were the names, and we were going with a veteran, older coach. And Flea, you say something all the time. We have to get somebody in there that's been there. Remember, he's a champion. He knows the game like no other. And right now, if we're in a win now situation, we have to get a head coach that can understand that. So I think this was the plan all along. And I'm going to say it. I think eventually, before the season starts, Jason Kidd will be the Knicks' new head coach. I really think so. And I think this was the plan. Flea been saying it all along. We have to have a plan in place. The way Tom Thibodeau was let go, you do not let someone go like that unless you did have a plan in place. As soon as Tom Thibodeau got let go, look at all the smoke. Look at all the smoke. And where there's smoke, there's fire. I think Jason Kidd should be the next head coach. And I'm ecstatic. I love if he's on the sideline as our head guy leading this team.
Oh, it looks like Mark Stein did have some words about Jason Kidd not looking around from the Mavericks prior to this news.
I don't get the sense that Jason Kidd was looking around at anything else. I do expect him to be the coach of this team next season. And even before you bring in the Cooper Flag factor, and obviously this job got infinitely more attractive again on May 12th when the Mavs won the lottery. Jason Kidd is the coach that Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving both want. And so if the Mavs are going to have those guys on their team, they're going to want Jason Kidd to be the coach of the team. I don't.
That's the other thing. It's not like you're working with some bummage over there in Dallas. You're up against all of us, maybe not Flea, but if we had a vote, we would have won. Me and you AllBall. Mavericks could have competed against anybody healthy, and Kyrie and Anthony Davis, especially with a Kyrie there. Just to have Kyrie with Jason Kidd, that's something to go up against. I know he's been to 2 conference finals with Dallas. He's been to a finals. It just doesn't excite me. For me, when I heard it, I love Jason Kidd. I don't think there's a better point guard that ever played, besides Magic. But Jason Kidd played both sides of the ball. He never had a Kareem, never had a James Worthy. He didn't have no super team around him.
The greatest passer I've ever seen.
Yeah, maybe you could speak to it more because you saw Magic, you saw more live Magic. But I don't think I've seen anybody make the passes that he's made, including Magic.
What separated Kidd from Magic is you gotta remember Kidd gonna get that bitch off the backboard and go. That and that's no knock to Magic. Like I said, to me, Magic is the greatest point guard of all time, but the greatest point guard I've ever seen, and I've seen both, but of course I've seen more Jason Kidd. I think there's no other. And there's another factor that we're not factoring in. I don't know why I said factor so many times just now. The East is easier to coach. It's easier than the West. I think that's something that J. Kidd will be looking at as well. I'm just being honest. The landscape of what the East is right now, what it's going to be next season, and then you're looking at the West with Boston, Philly, Cleveland, all next year ain't going to be no threat. Right now, you saying to yourself, all I got to really worry about is Indiana. Okay, we know the young up and coming teams is going to be a threat, but we just got to the conference finals. If I could tweak and add this and add that, listen, I think he'll have an easier job over here than having to deal with the West. I think that's something to think about also.
And I think he's looking forward to that. Being in New York would also cement something that nobody's been able to do ever, and which is be that great as a player and that great as a coach. That hasn't happened. Not for this long. 2 conference finals, a finals appearance, you name them. Rick Carlisle didn't play like on this level or on his level. And just the fact that we finally see a point guard who is that high level court vision, and then I guess, express some of that or execute some of that through his teammates, through his team. You know, it is. I guess with that is impressive. I like some of the tape I've seen with AD, the way he operated in Dallas. And I would hope that that's what he's doing with Cat if Cat is still here with Jason Kidd, and if Jason Kidd is the coach. But again, what Flea is upset about with Tibbs being gone and his tenure, he's not wrong about saying, yo, the guy that we get next has to fit this perfectly. The guy that we get next, forget about whether he's willing to do the job. Do I actually believe, like, full confidence he's going to do the job? I don't know. When it came to Jason Kidd, I looked at the name. I'm like, all right, where's the assistant? What's the assistant coaches looking like? Like, that's my next question, because, all right, we go after Giannis, and who we giving up? So y'all doing some super team shit. And again, that reeks of desperation. It does not reek of game plan to me. That
But
reeks
hold on,
of
what? No, hold on. I don't need to cut you off. I've heard you numerous times say super team. What super team are we creating if we give up players for Giannis? Where's the super team at?
Well, I don't know what players you're gonna give up. Like,
No,
I don't
no.
know. I don't see how you're gonna get Giannis without giving up multiple players. And if you give up multiple players, there's less guys on the team. So that means you gave up Randall and Dante to get Cat. That's -1. Two good players that were on a rotation. Now we got Cat, who's one of our good players. And then if you give up Mikal and Cat, or whatever it is, Mitchell Robinson and Mikal Bridges, whatever that looks like, that's two guys that were here. Now you got to make up for two guys from 2 seasons ago. That's a lot to make up for. That to me is a revamp. We want to call it a rebuild because we're not gonna suck, but it's a revamp, and that's hard, even harder to pull off. I like to go into this, yo, we're gonna keep Cat. You figure that out. You figure, like, Cat, what would you do if you had Cat? If you go after Giannis, it can't be for much. It can't be for much. But what I'm assuming is they're gonna go after Giannis, and they're saying it's how do they call it? A tsunami. They're gonna offer a tsunami for Giannis. Word? What does that sound like? If we're going by the current team for Jason Kidd and we're adding to that, and you go do your Carlisle impression, I'm with that. But if you're going with the whole, we're gonna go with Giannis and Brunson and put everything on there and put a lot more on their plate. We're watching two teams right now in the NBA Finals. They played 9-10. OKC played 10-11 guys last night. That's tough. Because I've seen Jason Kidd in Dallas. He does not operate with just 7. He's not having no 7-man rotation. He likes having an 8, 9, 10-man rotation. He likes to get creative. But we don't want to get creative with campaign all over again. We don't want that.
He's seen this. My confidence in Jason Kidd comes from a couple different perspectives, because he's the point guard of a back-to-back Nets team that went to the finals. Then he had a different role there. Like, he was extremely important there. But then he goes to Dallas and helps the best player on their team at the time get over the hump, right? Dirk couldn't get that, and now you bring back Jason Kidd, and they just start rolling. Then he's that vet that comes into New York and helps elevate us at that moment. Was that championship? No, but that was an elevation from what we was the year prior. And then, everywhere he goes, he's just touching organizations and helping. He got with Giannis as a rookie. Giannis's first coach. Giannis rants and raves about him. Giannis is so oblivious. Giannis said, can I go up to the ownership and ask them to rescind the trade? To rescind the firing. Can I ask them, can you unfire Jason Kidd? He didn't understand how this shit worked. He just loved that coach so much. So, we always talked about how guys didn't rant and rave about playing for Tibbs. But you got a lot of guys out there that talk highly for playing under Jason Kidd. So, he's going to hold you accountable. He ain't got no problem coming to the presser after the game and saying you played like shit. And I don't care if it's the best player on the team or if it's the worst player on the team. He's going to hold everybody accountable. And I think that's somebody that could move the needle somewhat. That could, demand the respect in the locker room. My cause to pause is, how realistic is it to make this happen? What do we have to do to make this happen? This place, I was listening to the local sports radio down here. There ain't enough money in the world that you're gonna offer Tillman Fertitta and the Houston Rockets to get Udoka. There's not enough money in the world. They're not even gonna take the call. It's not gonna happen. So if that's where they stand with Udoka, where are they gonna stand with a Jason Kidd, with a Ty Lue, with a Steve Kerr? Like, how are we gonna accomplish this with what we have and what they have? So I love the options, but how are we gonna get it done? Is my next question.
I mean, I hear y'all, but the NBA, these teams, they find ways to get things done. Sometimes they get the impossible done. I've seen players go to teams and it's like, what the hell? How did that happen? So for me, if Jason Kidd, so now my thing is even what we talked about yesterday with Kevin Durant. I want guys that want to be here. I think if Jason Kidd wants to be the Knicks head coach, then it's possible. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about us going all in on guys that don't want to be all in with us. So I'm more nervous about that. So if Jason Kidd wants to coach the Knicks, I think they can make it happen. What we have to give up, I don't know. But he played against Jordan. He played against Braun. He knows the game. And I think, the way, he can coach us on offense and help Brunson tremendously as far as just helping him and making the game easy for him. I think it's a perfect hire. I really do. But to me, whoever we go after, whether it's a coach or whatever moves you make with a player, whoever, I just want them to want to be here. Because to me, that's the difference in guys want to be here and playing great and just whatever. So if he wants to be here, I say we go all in for him. But if not, we move on.
With the new hire, and let's say we get the dream hire, right? Let's say we get the coach that you actually want, OG, whoever that is. Is the like the flat out expectation next year like championship? I saw you yesterday and I missed it. I was rewatching, and you said a lot of different things. I was a little confused. I said next time I talk to my OG, I said I need some clarity. So we're a championship level team, but we lack the talent in comparison to other teams' talent, and Tibbs ain't good enough. So we're a championship level team, but we don't have enough talent, and Tibbs wasn't good enough. Is the expectation when the next guy walks through the door championship, and is he going to get enough rope? Like, what's the window? If we don't win next year, are we canning him too? What's the window for the next guy that comes in?
So whoever comes in, yes, it should be championship. And worst case scenario, Eastern Conference Finals, 6-7 games are competitive. But yes, it should be championship. I think we have enough talent. We just don't know. To me, Tibbs just didn't know how to utilize them. And yes, we do need help on the bench. And like I've said numerous times, I like the team we have now, but we need more ball handlers. Look at how all these teams are constructed. We have one ball handler on a 12-man roster. OKC and Indiana could put the ball in 6, 7, 8 guys' hands and let them run the offense. So we need more ball handlers and we need a defender. We need a legit 6'6", 6'7" guy coming off the bench. Dudes being 6 foot coming off the bench is not going to cut it. Not in today's game. So, but I still think with all that being said, Flea, we were 2 games away from being in the finals. So I think whoever comes in here, like I said, we have the clutch player of the year. We have an all-NBA. We have all-stars. We have a defensive juggernaut and a guy like OG and Mitch. So yes, whoever comes in here, especially if it's a championship level coach, yes, we should be thinking about championship. It definitely should be first, second round type shit. No, them days should be over.
I think it all depends on the roster. And again, if we're looking, that's what I'm saying. This is what brings more confusion. If we're going after Giannis, how does that look? That's a different team, different number one. I think Jason Kidd, if he was here, there's no way he wouldn't have been. He wasn't going to go to campaign for 2 games. It would have been a totally different thing. He would have been able to spell Cat and Jalen Brunson. He just would have done that. And because every coach does that. Every coach if you got 2 guys who can score like that, he lets one of them play with the bench. He lets the other one stay with the starting lineup, and they mix and match them. And then you bring them in the 4th quarter, and usually there are plays that you run to get them going where they have sets to help, complement one another. It's not a guarantee that it would have happened, but I did read this, right? Automatically, ever since AllBall mentioned them damn assistant coaches, who are the Dallas Mavericks assistant coaches? You got Marco Milic, Jared Dudley, Eric Hughes, Darrell Armstrong, Alex Jensen, Sean Sweeney, Josh Broggemer, and Keith Vaney. None of them all too familiar to me except
I thought God was on that list.
Yeah, Shan, right?
I thought Shan was over there.
Yeah, he must be develop. What is how you say develop?
Player development.
Yeah, player development.
And also, it led me to Google, are there anyone interested in these Mavericks assistant coaches for a head coaching job? Spurs interested in Mavericks coach amid Jason Kidd Knicks rumors. So Dallas Mavericks coach Jason Kidd is emerging as one of the top candidates for the New York Knicks head coaching position. One of Kidd's top assistants has surfaced as a candidate for the Spurs top assistant role on Mitch Johnson's staff. Mitch Johnson is the new head coach over there for the Spurs. He's superseding or following up with Popovich. Hopefully he's all right and good standing after he had a stroke a couple months ago. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, the Spurs are interested in hiring Dallas assistant Sean Sweeney to work alongside Mitch Johnson, the heir to legendary Greg Popovich, who retired in May. It will be quite the undertaking for Sweeney, who worked his way up from a position as video coordinator for the Brooklyn Nets over a decade ago and was a top candidate for the Phoenix Suns head coaching vacancy. Music to my ears. So you got assistant coaches that are being offered head coaching positions, 2 conference finals, 1 finals appearance. I'm starting to process the Jason Kidd thing because I'm not gonna lie to you. I was not excited when I heard my guy Jason Kidd offered this job or they're going after him. Who has it? The Mavericks drafted the tall kid, Lively. That was a good pickup. They traded for Gafford. They know how to trade for their players, right? They want rim runners, tall guys around Luka and Jalen Brunson when he was there. I would think Jason Kidd's going to offer them that. Like, yo, we need this. That's what I think more importantly than anything else. We talked about it earlier where you don't keep Obi, you're not keeping RJ, you're not keeping Quentin Grimes because they're not fitting Tibbs' system. Well, Kidd's going to come here and show us, well, this is why we're going after Giannis. Oh, I know how to coach him. I want that in my system. He could be the rim runner. Now we got to get guys, like you said, who's going to handle the ball and who could throw the alley to Giannis. Are we going to be able to throw an alley-oop finally? Hopefully Kidd can really get these guys, talk to him. Let them learn the game of basketball. Again, another guy who nobody rarely talks about. He went from being a horrible shooter to a great shooter and has made top 5 in 3-pointers made of all time. I never would have thought he was doing that. And when he finally won his ring with Dallas on the second stint, he was up there. So these things are getting me more excited about Jason Kidd now because I'm still like, hold on, what's really coming over here? Can he really coach this thing? He's been in New York, been in Jersey, Brooklyn, in the Garden. So I'm starting to learn in real time in front of y'all. All right, I'm seeing a lot of things I'm liking now, man. A lot.
Time is now. I think, we got to go all in. Like, Flea always alludes to every year you got to upgrade. We watching all these teams that are successful. They're upgrading every year. Like I said, OKC upgraded. And look where they at. I just feel, for us, we have to come along with the times. It's 2025, like you said. Where's the rim? Where's the guys running the rim? Where's the alley-oops? Where's the fast-paced game at? Where's the great defensive play? Like, where's all that at? Nah, you know, I think J.K. could bring that to us. You know, so for me, I love the hire. I love the hire. We have to come along with the times. We are stuck in the mud. That's why I don't want a Mike Malone and none of them guys. Nah, I don't want none of them guys. Nah, it's gonna be the same exact thing. We need somebody like a J Kid with that mind to go, no, Brunson, Cat, whoever's on the team, you do this, and this is what's gonna happen. Kid's seen it all. He played against Mike, Kobe, Braun, and was successful. Seen it all. So for me, like I said, the only thing I'm worried about is all these rumors from players to coaches. Do they want to play for the Knicks? Do they want to coach for the Knicks? That's what I'm scared about. Ain't nothing like going all in for somebody like what we did with Phil Jackson and just get robbed. So I want guys to understand, like, bruh, you know, we serious. You see the front office is serious. We going all in. Are you going to go all in with us? Because we want to win a championship. So that's what I'm nervous about. I just want guys to want to be here.
One team wins the championship every year, while 29 other teams don't. It's about time we be that one team. That's all that matters now. I'm tired of, like, I don't want to talk no more about this, that, you know. 29 other teams lose every fucking year, and only one team wins. So whatever we got to do to get there, let's do it. We got to do it.
Oh, P said, Flea's doing math.
Yeah. It's just a fucking reminder, because everybody think 3 or 4 teams win championships every fucking year. So it's just a quick reminder that only one team wins every year. The fuck.
It would be interesting because, again, with kid style, is it fast paced? We've seen him with Kyrie and Luka, and also the fact that I gotta give people props too. The fact that you know how to tank is different. Like, they tank for Derek Lively. They said, "Yo, we gonna tank and just get. We ain't letting the Knicks get a draft pick." You gotta coach that. Like, Pop. That's when you shit on Popovich. Oh, I'm like, oh, bro, he literally tanked on the court where he's being competitive and then subbed out certain people at certain times. It's like, dog, you an evil motherfucker to be doing shit like that. And Jason Kidd is definitely a sneaky dude. Sneaky. Let's not forget when he was like, hit me with the water in his hand, dropping the water. We had no more timeouts. Sneaky mother lover. Anybody who's doing anything to win, that's different than, you know, Tibbs approach on the sideline that you hate all ball. And I don't think Jason Kidd, all that shit you talk about with Tibbs, would you mind the fact that I don't see Jason Kidd being too animated on the court like that? He's very measured, very, like, looking around, cerebral. Are you going to be opposed to that, or do you want him to start yelling and being animated as you wanted Tibbs to be?
No, I didn't want Tibbs to be animated. I just when it's time to be, it's time to be. Fight. There's times on the court where we were getting punked. I think the refs was officiating us terrible. No excuse, we lost, but I'm just saying there's times where I want my coach to fight. Like I said, I seen a game with Detroit played. It might have been OKC, and at the podium, the coach went berserk. But he was defending his guys. So, you know, be yourself. But, man, listen, if you see you got to rile us up a little bit. I've seen coaches get kicked out of game just to rile their guys up. So, for me, Flea said it perfectly. Whatever we got to do to win, I'm tired of every year is one team hoisting up that trophy, and it's never the fucking New York Knicks. The time is now. Let's get the job done. There's a plethora of coaches out there. There's moves that we can make. We know the holes that we have to fill. Let's get the job done. Like I said, the East next season, Boston is not fully healthy. Nobody believes in Philly. Milwaukee is in disarray. Cleveland is pretenders. Another season where we can have a 50-win season plus and be right back here. Let's get the job done. Fuck these rumors. Fuck all this. Let's get the job done. But I'm ready to be in the finals for a chance to be a champion. Let's get the job done.
AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.